Alright, Felix Tito Trinidad against Oscar De La Hoya. This fight, I believe, was back in 1999, so I might have been like freshman or sophomore in high school, I don't know. But at that time, these two guys were like two of my top three. I had Roy Jones, Oscar De La Hoya, and Tito Trinidad were three of my favorite fighters at the time. Okay, this fight here, to me, was like the modern day Leonard against Hearns. You know, this was a big fight to me. Big fight. Both of these guys were undefeated. This fight was, I believe, was at welterweight. So the reason why I'm doing this video is not because it was a great fight. It was a high profile fight, but the fight itself wasn't that good. The reason why I'm doing this video is because it was a highly controversial decision. Okay, I already said I put up a video for the Floyd Castillo first fight yesterday. I also put up a video saying that I was going to do more retro throwback fights. So this is the way I'm going to do this video. I'm going to start off talking about the rounds where I'm going to give the rounds a quick breakdown and try to go through each round. And then I'm going to speak of the fight overall at the end after I do the rounds. Alright, so I'm going to get the rounds out of the way first. Okay. First round, I gave it to Oscar. Okay, I gave the first round to Oscar. This was probably the most, these guys were just warming up. Not much going on here. Tito landed a few jabs, or threw a few jabs, I'm sorry. He threw a few jabs. Most of them were blocked. Oscar, who has a better jab, landed a few good shots in there. Nothing major, alright? But I gave the round to Oscar, because Oscar was landing his shots, the few shots that he threw. And Tito, most of his shots were blocked, okay? But neither one of them threw a lot of punches, alright? Low volume punch round, okay? Second round I gave to Oscar. Okay, Tito definitely picked up the pace, but at this point, a lot of his punches are being blocked. I think he landed one big shot, nothing major. Oscar's still going off with the jab. At this point, the fight is still staying in the center of the ring. Oscar is using a lot of footwork. All right, he used a lot of footwork throughout the fight, obviously because he ran at the end of the fight. So he's using a lot of footwork, but the fight is still staying in the center of the ring. Okay, Oscar wasn't being backed up into the ropes at all. Okay, another thing is Oscar bloodied Felix Trinidad's nose. Okay, so he had a little blood coming out of his nose. I gave the round to Oscar. Third round, I gave it to Oscar. It was a quiet round compared to the second round. Okay, a lot less action. Okay, Oscar's still using his jab, keeping the fight in the center of the ring. Okay, Tito's just trying to land one big shot. He's just not throwing any combinations. I don't believe he landed many combinations at all, if any at all in this fight. Alright, he's just trying to go one big shot, throwing one shot at a time, having trouble. He's chasing Oscar and he's having trouble keeping up with him. Okay. Fourth round, Felix, I gave it to Tito. Alright, landed a big right. Oscar still was doing his thing, but I gave it to Tito. And Tito landed a couple big shots in this round. Okay, he was still picking up the pressure here. Alright, Oscar was using his jab, but he slowed it down a little bit this round. It's like he took a break, a round off, and Tito landed a few big shots here. So this is Trinidad's first round. So far I have it 3-1 for Oscar. Okay. Fifth round I gave to Oscar. Okay, landed a few big power shots here. Okay, he landed some other than the jab. He's still using, at this point now, he's starting to use the whole ring. He's not keeping a fight in the center, alright? He's bouncing around, he's dancing around the entire ring. Tito's tracking him down, stalking him, being a hunter. But so far, Oscar is just utilizing his jab, keeping Tito in his jab. Tito never really gets close. And Oscar is landing big shots here, throwing some good flurries. Another thing, Tito blew his nose. Remember I said his nose was bleeding a little bit. He blew his nose and he had a swelling under his left eye. Okay. Sixth round I gave to Oscar. Okay. I think this was Oscar's best round so far. Alright. He was using this, combination still, throwing flurries. landing some. I mean, when he was throwing flurries, to the body, straight up top, back to the body. You know, he was still using the whole ring, still dancing around, but he will stop, use his combinations, and then go right back to moving, circling the ring. All right, great ring generalship by Oscar. Right now, up to this point, I still only gave Tito 1 round. He's totally outclassing Tito. Okay, 7th round, still more the same. You know, Oscar landed a few big right hands. Tito had no, like, he could not stop Oscar from that big right. You know, Oscar was doing a straight right, and Tito had no answer at all for this fight, for this punch. So Oscar kept using it. At the end of the round, you know, Tito hit Oscar late after the bell. Not a big deal, but Oscar did like some kind of gesture with his glove, and then you know, Tito went to go back towards him, you know, to try to give him dab. Both of the corners jumped in. You know, it was bigger than it was, but it really wasn't a big deal. Okay. All right. So the 8th round, same thing. Oscar still landing that straight right. Lots of movement still, lots of flurries here and there. You know, Tito's still doing the same game plan, just one punch at a time. He's just trying to land one big shot and knock Oscar out with it. Bad game plan, especially for a guy that's moving as much as Oscar was moving. You know, Tito just, you know, whoever he went to training camp with and whoever he was sparring, obviously he wasn't sparring guys with any kind of movement. He was sparring guys that was standing right in front of him. Oscar did not stand right in front of him at all in this fight. Well, he barely did. Okay, 9th round, same thing. This round was pretty close. Okay, I gave it to Oscar. He's still landing his straight right, still throwing his flurries. Felix landed some big shots here. Okay, couple big shots here, but I thought Oscar did more in the round. All right, that's the reason why I gave him the round. I believe Letterman might have gave this round to Tito. Okay, but this was like the last round. Like after this round, this changed the pace of the fight. Okay, after the 9th round. Okay, at the 10th round, I gave to Felix. Oscar was doing this thing when he was just circling the ring. Didn't throw much here, and he was trying to steal rounds. Okay, Oscar was, you know, at this point, his corner had told him that he got the fight in the bag already. He won the fight, you know, and Oscar at this point was just circling the ring, trying to avoid Tito Trinidad. Big mistake, okay? Tito was still coming forward, still trying to land a big shot. Wasn't happening, okay? Now, the 12th and 11th round, Oscar did nothing but run the entire round, okay? The crowd was booing. Oscar was not fighting. He was trying to steal rounds. Last 20 seconds or so, he'll do one flurry or something, and then bounces right back out, circling the ring. Tito landed some shots here and there, but it was enough for him to win the round because Oscar De La Hoya at this point was very inactive. You know, he wasn't fighting back, okay? Both for the 11th and 12th rounds, okay? So I gave it 8-4 for Oscar, okay? Give or take. You want to give Tito a round here and there. I think Letterman gave a couple of rounds that I gave to Oscar to Tito. I thought, all right, let me talk about the fight. Oscar was outclassing Tito. Okay, he was giving him a boxing lesson. Whether you like it or not, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm sure Tito fans are gonna come on here. Maybe some of you guys are Puerto Rican, gonna come on here and say, listen, turn the sound off, watch the fight again. You know, there's no need for that, all right? Tito's problem was he was trying to land one big shot. He had no answer for Oscar's footwork. He had no answer. He had no answer for Oscar's straight right. And we already know that Oscar throws a much better, stiffer jab than Tito did, okay? So Oscar was outclassing him. He was giving him boxing lesson. You want to call it running? I don't think it was running up until the 9th, 10th round. You know, I wouldn't call it running until the 9th, 10th round, I believe. All right, Oscar was using his legs, sort of like how, you know, Ray Leonard was using it against the Duran fight, the second Duran fight. Didn't look as good as Ray Leonard, but you know, Oscar was boxing, in my opinion. All right. The problem is, you know, you just can't stop fighting. You know, and Oscar has a reputation of being a warrior. You know, I think just a couple fights before that, he fought Ike Cortez, a fight that I thought he was losing. A fight that you can question who that fight. I might do a video on that fight too. Ike Cortez against De La Hoya. Okay, another close fight. I felt Oscar was losing that fight, and at the end, you know, he went out and he fought like a warrior to win the last round. You know, I had to go back and watch it. I haven't watched it since a long time ago. It was a long time when I seen that fight. All right, but you know, Oscar went out like a sucker. He shouldn't have done that. He should have just stopped fighting. And I know he regrets it every day. Okay. As far as Tito wasn't prepared for Oscar. Tito, like I said earlier, he just was trying to land one big shot. You know, he didn't do any combination. I don't even know if he landed any combinations. You know, he would land a big shot, a big right hook or something here and there. But, you know, you can't go in there just trying to knock. You can't knock everybody out with one punch. At the time, I thought he was, I think he was going into that fight like 35 wins, 30 knockouts or something like that. You're not going to knock everybody out with one punch, okay? You're not going to do it. Especially elite fighters like that. You're not going to always do it. So, very disappointed at the fight. You know, like I said, I did this video because it was a controversial decision. But it was such a high profile fight. And, you know, these guys didn't show up. You know, Oscar showed up. He was giving him a boxing lesson, but he ran. You know, and Tito was just not prepared for Oscar. You know, even the rounds that Oscar was running, Tito still had a hard time landing a shot. He had a very hard time. You know, and you only gave it to him because of the fact that Oscar wasn't fighting. You know, even when while Oscar was not fighting, Tito could not land a shot. I mean, you would think he would throw a hook towards the direction, whatever direction Oscar was, you know, moving. You would think he would throw a hook, but no, he was just standing there chasing him. It was just a very frustrating fight to watch. You know, and with all the things that happened, Tito took a very long time getting into the ring. He forgot his mouthpiece in the back. They couldn't even get the fight started. It was just a very annoying fight. You know, if I had paid for this back then, I would have been very disappointed. But, you know, as far as the decision, yeah, I gave it 8-4. You know, if the judges gave it, because they obviously gave it to Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, they gave it to Tito because of the fact that Oscar didn't fight anymore. You know, a lot of people, if you want to give Tito the gift win because of the fact that Oscar did not fight the championship rounds, fine. Me personally, I think Oscar was way ahead, okay, for him to lose that fight. It was too far ahead for him to lose, all right, the decision, okay? But, you guys, leave your thoughts, all right? If you think Trinidad won, tell me why. You know, explain why. Don't just say turn off the sound and the commentary and stuff like that. No, tell me why you think the fight. Why do you think Tito won the fight? Okay. How many rounds did you give each fighter? All right, and also I'm gonna do more videos, more throwback, more retro videos on fights. So leave some comments, leave some requests as well for other fights who you'd like me to talk about, and make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow me on my Twitter. Peace.